Hello there, and welcome back to Ears to the East. I've got to remember which camera I'm looking at. I changed all my arrangement, everything's all set up. Okay, so I'm going to start by talking us into what we're talking about today, because right before I did this stream, I was chatting with you, Neon, and it turns out you have not heard of Wagamama Rakia,
Nope.
and you like cover like 1,000,001 bands. And I was really surprised that Wagamama Rakia has never come up, or if it has, it's been one that's been lost. This is a band who they have their ups and downs, but as general, I think they're really interesting, and we're going to talk about them more in a minute. But I really wanted to cover first of all, there's been a bit of a news regarding the lead founding member. Now, so as you can see here, we got all the details. They've been around for a number of years, but with Minami being really kind of like the most recognizable face of the group, it's kind of like she's always the one who we always see, and she's always very flamboyant, and you kind of just think, yeah, big high energy person. And it always
Yeah.
seems to be the way that it's people like that where you're on your Twitter and suddenly an announcement comes out that there's a health problem. And so yeah, it's always that way, isn't it? I mean,
Mm.
anyone who's a fan of Aldius will know this. I mean, Aldius, bless them. I'm so glad that Reno's back. Obviously, I was really upset to hear about her condition years ago, and but
Yeah.
yeah, she's back. Look, you always get the flamboyant, the high energy ones are always the ones with a problem. So anyway, just for everyone, I ran this through the translator so we can have a quick look at it. So you should be able to see this on the screen, everyone. But so as you can see here, it says that she's suffering from an illness called IgA nephropathy. I've been trying to get that pronunciation right. But what I'll do is I'll quickly just explain what this is, because like with most of these things, you just want to know, is the person going to be okay? Basically, the way it comes across is it is a slow moving kidney illness, which there is no known cure for, but the idea is that it can be controlled with drugs over time. And the way that she sort of worded her response to this is that she is getting treatment. The hope is that she's gonna be able to continue fine, and she'll be able to keep on touring. The other reason I wanted to show the Twitter is because you can see they got a lot of tour dates. They're still touring. They got like their show coming up in November. They got a big Zep Tokyo show, which is a one-man show, I should point out as well. So they're filling up Zep Tokyo.
Mm.
There's an advert, ignore that. Yeah, they got a lot going on. And so the main thing to take away from this is that it's not stopping them. She said in her announcement that she's called it early, which means that she can start treatment to mitigate the results, the effects of it, I imagine, as quickly as possible. It is an illness that there appears there are no cures for it. I won't go through the symptoms. That's a little bit unnecessary. But yeah, it's the main thing is she's caught hold of it. So I think one of the most positive things about conditions like this, dare I say it, is that first of all, she can keep on performing. But the other thing more long term is you never know, is it might be that as it's a slow moving condition that they can hold back with drugs, maybe before it gets too bad, however bad it gets in years to come, they might find a cure. So she might be okay in the long term. But yeah, I just remember I looked at this and it was kind of heartbreaking for someone who's that flamboyant, that extravagant, that sort of like so in your face, to just see them like, yeah, we're all human. We all have our weaknesses. So I would say if you're a Wagamama Rakia fan, amongst anything else, please go show some love. I mean, I'm sure she's doing very well, but
Yeah.
it's really important to
If
have
you,
fans come out there and say, yeah,
if
we
you,
know,
if you're a
we know
fan of
exactly.
the band as well, leave some comments down below. Like I said, I haven't checked them out. So I'm coming at this in the complete unknown. So
Well, that brings us on to the second part of this, which is where I'm going to sell you on Wagamama Rakia.
so
I was actually,
go
I
sorry,
was
go,
actually thinking,
go. I just want to go back to the first point before we move
yeah,
on
yeah, sorry,
quickly
sorry.
slightly. And I'll just say it's really really cool to see that she's without knowing obviously her personality or anything like that. It's really nice to know that they caught that early for anybody. It's not just her, for any band.
Hmm.
It's heartbreaking in a kind of way, especially for her personally, because it's going to take some time to obviously adjust. My fear is that usually like touring with most bands, if you're doing this kind of thing, it takes a lot out on the mind, but as you know, and the body as well, rehearsals, and I don't know how active they are dancing or high energy. Um, Yeah, I just really hope it works out for her. To be honest, I hope they like you said that they've caught it early and she can continue doing what she's doing. I
I
have
mean, just from that, Babs, if I could just quickly cover that, because I mean, I'm sure. Well, I hope we're going to get some people in here who are probably even more familiar with the band than I am.
mm,
Now, this is a band who I have really enjoyed their music a lot. Actually, they got some really crazy songs that I really love. They are extremely high energy. But as a general, although they have listeners abroad, they haven't broken hugely overseas. So I'm not kind of expecting, I don't believe they have, and I was just showing some of their tour dates on the screen just then. I don't think they've really got any overseas tours or anything planned. So luckily, I think they'll always be close to home. She's done, I mean, actually, several of the members are involved in multiple projects, but I know that Minami in particular has always kind of been involved in more than one thing. So I think hopefully it'll be a case of she'll know how to control her workflow and she'll know how to do that, and so hopefully she'll know where her limits are quite well.
yeah,
But yeah, I think they'll be touring close to home.
yeah, just fingers crossed and touch wood that like I said that it doesn't get worse or too worse over time, and hopefully by the time it most likely will become an issue, she would have had 10, 15, 20 years of a good career by then.
They do sort of specify how slow moving it is. I was reading about this a lot yesterday I think it was yesterday when this came out. It said you might not even notice any health effects for 10 years or more. Sometimes routine medicine tests find signs of disease such as protein and red blood cells in the urine and usual sort of places. You find stuff and go, that's a little bit odd, and then someone picks up on it. So it is definitely a slow moving thing, but obviously it is also an uncurable thing. So it's something we should be keeping checkups on that. But yeah,
it makes me think like how you discover these kind of things as well, because like as much as we say, oh, she caught it early, so that's good. Like she must have been in some pain for some while to realize it is what it is, or to find out it is what it is.
I think it's one of those, because it's a kidney thing. I think maybe you don't even have to be in pain. I think you just kind of like go for do your business, have a look and go, wait a minute, that's not the color that should be.
Yeah,
I think it's one of those ones,
Yeah.
So hopefully she's in no pain at all. Would be my hope. By the way, they do have the pronunciation. Thank you to the Mayo Clinic for the pronunciation nephropathy. It's actually quite easy when you look at it. Nephropathy. Oh, I got it wrong. Nephropathy. It's easy for people with brains.
So neither of us then.
So what I was going to say, here's something I want to do. I know what songs I want Neon to listen to, and I think what we can do is Neon can listen to a song and then come back to us and talk about us in like an upcoming video about what he thought about it. But I'd like people to get in the comments and say which Wagamama Rakia song they think would be a great first time one for Neon to jump in on. I think that'd be really cool if people could give an intro. I think this is one of those bands where, so to give a little idea, they're a four-piece. They're kind of like one of those girl bands who's a little bit more rocky. They're a little bit psychedelic as well. They kind of go into a slightly new metal area in places. But, so you've kind of got the lead singer, really, Minami. I consider her to be a lead singer. She's the founding member from what I gather. She's kind of like the very flamboyant looking singer who's got like the crazy image. They have a rapper who was from actually she was a rapper when she was a little kid, and she was in like a little kids, like I think they started a little rap group of their own, and then she got into this group, and she's actually, you look at most of their music videos, on YouTube, you can see where like the views go up.
Yeah.
Like it's usually around her verse. There's like a really crazy view. Like she's like really good at adding something to the songs. And there's like one song in particular, Joker, where I think she's just got a fantastic verse in that. And then the other two members are really good. I think they're kind of underused. But I think they're really good as well. And they kind of add a very different singing style. So yeah, I think this is one of those groups where you're going to love some of the songs, you're going to hate some of the songs, but definitely they're worth listening to. So guys, get in the comments and tell us what songs, what Wagamama Rakia songs we're going to start Neon on. Maybe you can even record his reaction and we'll post that on his
yeah,
channel.
yeah. I'll probably post it on my channel. So yeah, we'll give it a couple of days. We'll see what the comments are like. See which one's the most popular, and then I'll do the reaction, and we'll come back and do a second video. I've just done a little bit.
Actually, if you guys put the song names that you think, maybe we can just go on the community page and I can just put like a voting thing and you guys can vote in the community page. So maybe we'll do that. Maybe I'll put up a list of songs that you can do, and then so comment what songs you think we should pick, and then maybe I'll just take a few of them and start a vote up in the community page for you guys to pick a song. And then then Neon can do like a proper YouTuber thing on his channel, which is you can watch the entire video, and then when it gets to the end, he can stop and say, like and subscribe. This ends now. If you want to see my review, go over to Is to the East.
So see how this works. Shameless plug in all my videos.
Anyway, I think I've said everything I needed to say now, so I'm gonna let you do add anything that you wanted to add to that. But yeah, I thought this was worth.
I think you've done well there, man. I think you've pretty much covered it all. There's not really much for me to say without actually seeing the band firsthand. So I mean, I've just googled them now while we're chatting. I can see all the nice colorful pictures of them all with all the nice colorful hair. So
when you're seeing colorful hair, that's the lead member.
That's the lead member.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I know some people might object to me calling her that, but I do think Minami could pretty safely be considered the lead member. I actually was going to take a shot at saying her second name earlier, and just when I scrolled up, I just saw it. I was like, oh shit, Hoshikuma. Because it's like on this page, it's got it both in the English characters, then it's got it in the kanji, and I do not know those kanji. I was like, no. The thing is, actually, her first name, like one of the kanji is Minami, so I don't know what the other one is. It Minami. Anyway,
if you
want to teach me Japanese, get in the comments and teach me Japanese.
Yeah, teach the man from Japan how to speak Japanese, how to speak the lingo. Yeah. Like I said, what I'll do is I'll give this a couple of days. I'll have a look at your comments down below. Tell me what's a good starting point. Let me know. I'll do the reaction on my channel, and then we'll come back and we'll resume this vid for a part 2. And we can talk about a little bit about the band, and I will actually be up to date and like in the know for once.
Yes. All right. Anyway, look, a big thank you from us. Obviously, our absolute best wishes to the whole group. So glad that there's nothing that's stopping them, that they're carrying on anyway. And of course, we all wish the absolute best to health. Yeah, hopefully all good. And until we see you very soon in the next video, for now, we're going to wish you a lovely time to keep your ears to the east.
To the east.
Oh, we nearly pointed the same way again.
Almost. We'll get there eventually.